Deal broke boy, still can't believe I used to mess with you. I've been playing these cause I ain't playing to be stuck with you, man. I see you still kick it with them op chickens. I'm the only reason that your goofy self got women. All them girls wanna look like me. She most likely only mess with you just to spite me. But please don't get it twisted, I ain't tripping. I never put my faith in it. Boy, I'ma die independent. If you was wondering, yeah, boy, I'm still that chick. I had to block you, but you still gotta watch this. Cause who you know rock it like me? No bra, tight tee, slick back, ponytail, feeling like I'm iced tea. You know I love you good, real hood when you wake up. You know that girl weak if she ain't messing up her makeup. Man, I can't believe I used to let you touch me. I'd rather be in jail before a broke boy. Ladies, love yourself.
Welcome in. You already know what time it is. It's Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. You know your digital play cousin, your backstage pass, and your favorite timeline translator. And tonight, we are doing what we do here, getting into these headlines and trending topics. And, of course, you know, Andy is always on theme. And we are getting into some Megan Thee Stallion courtroom tea that is piping. You thought Law and Order was over just because the Diddy trial ended? It's never ending in the world of hip-hop, so it seems. So we're going to get into the lawsuit against Megan that has gone kind of quiet for a while. Megan tried to get the lawsuit dismissed, and a judge rules, nah, it can move forward. So we'll get into those details. Plus, Nicki Minaj is back with the shady captions. She is on social media dropping bombs at Megan and Jay-Z. So we'll get into that because, you know, Nicki and the Barbs are going to light up your timeline. They absolutely are. So we'll talk about that. And, of course, in the headlines, right? We know that we have a reality star as president currently. How do we feel about reality stars stepping into politics? I mean, at this point, the political arena is a reality show, and you sometimes have to be a personality to get those votes up. So now we have news that one of the stars of Married to Medicine is running for office. So we're going to get into those details. Buckle up, baby. Your front row seat to the culture starts right now. So, you know I like to start the night with a little conversation starter, right? Well, grab your beverages and your snacks because this could be one of those meet cute. That's what I'm talking about, Andy. Listen, we might have a new couple bubbling. You see the tie-in? So, spotted holding hands in London over the weekend, attending the 1500th performance of Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club, were Janet Jackson and Maxwell. They looked absolutely radiant and beautiful. We've seen Janet and Maxwell together before. Think they're good friends. However, this looked a little cozy, a little sophisticated, a little meet cute. Like, I could see that. I would love that for them. I think that they would make a really visually appealing couple. I would like to see it. So, I don't know if it's just friends and, you know, Janet is the type of woman that will hold her friend's hand or whomever. We know Janet has grown up in the spotlight, so she needs to feel secure in her environment. She's a Jackson after all. It's absolutely American royalty. But again, it looked rather warm and fuzzy, and I'm here for it if that is the case. So, yeah, we'll have to be on the lookout for that. It definitely seemed a little cozier. And, of course, the timeline is already buzzing, right? But I'd like to see it. Andy, you were going to say something. What were you about to say?
I know all the fellas are hot right now.
Are they?
I mean, I know a lot of people that got crushes on Janet Jackson, so.
I mean, because Janet is still looking fantastic at
That's what I'm saying.
59
That's what I'm
years
saying.
old, still
Till
touring.
this day. I mean, there people had crushes since she was Penny.
Listen, and you can take a look at the photos on Getty, and you know Getty has no airbrushing. Miss Jackson is looking fantastic. They looked really good together, so we'll have to see.
And Maxwell is not to be mistaken for brother Lenny Kravitz, right? Lenny Kravitz is the one that's celibate for like 8-9 years.
Yeah, Lenny
Okay,
Kravitz is, rocker, son of Roxy Roker, Helen from Good Times. What?
Janet Jackson has a type.
Why do you say that?
Didn't she date Lenny Kravitz at one point?
No.
They didn't date at all?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz were married.
Okay, I guess I'm getting all the light-skinned people together.
Janet was James DeBarge. You're a mess. James DeBarge, her ex-husband Renee, and then to throw it all off.
Them light-skinned cats.
No, but she also dated Bobby Brown and Jermaine Dupri.
She dated Bobby Brown?
For a minute, yeah.
Before, obviously, Whitney, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was a young tyke then. I don't remember that.
It wasn't out in the out in the public. Did I say Roxy Roker from the wrong show? The Jeffersons? It's the Jeffersons. My bad, y'all. I do know that. Apologies. When we come forward, we're going to hit these trending topics and headlines.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, You know how this goes down. 800-920-1580 if at any point you want to join the conversation. Of course, you can hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. And, of course, download the new app, jump into the YouTube chat. They're already in there handling business. And tonight I am not by myself to talk about these headlines and trending topics. I am joined by NiteCast Media's own Nick Hamilton. Welcome in, Nick.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Nick, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, living and breathing. Can't complain. What about yourself?
I'm amazing. So we haven't talked to you in a minute, Nick. Lots of things happened. The draft, Kevin Durant to the Rockets. What's on your sports mind right now? The WNBA, of course.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, in the world of sports, in and out. So it's interesting to see what has transpired since the last time we've spoken. But I'm sure it will get even spicier as we move along throughout the year, no matter what the sport is.
Indeed, indeed. You have an opinion on LeBron? You think he's staying for the year? You think the new ownership will trade him?
Nah, I think he's just posturing as usual. He just wants some attention, like other people that we're about to talk about. So, yeah, I think he'll stay. You know, is it time for LeBron to go? Sure, but is he going? No. Because it's going to take a lot for somebody to dump that contract, because it's a huge contract that, you know, other teams are reluctant to get involved with because it'll go against their cap. So maybe at the trade deadline we can revisit this.
Because I feel like year 23 is it.
Well, I hope it's it, because I mean, you know, it's you know, that episode hasn't been seen before, and we're tired of watching it. So I think it's just time for him to move along into the sunset. And the Lakers have obviously let him know that they're building for the future, and Luka is part of that future. So that's where we are.
Okay. All right. Well, Nick Hamilton, we're going to get into Megan Thee Stallion and this lawsuit moving forward. So it was filed back in 2023, 2024, I believe, and it stems from a cameraman who says that he was targeted for sexual harassment and because he was gay. So a federal judge ruled this week that Megan and Roc Nation, because he's suing Roc Nation as well, must continue fighting this lawsuit filed by the cameraman named Emilio Garcia. And the case centers around a 2022 incident that allegedly took place in Ibiza, Spain, while Megan was on tour. So Garcia claims he was riding in an SUV with Megan and 3 other women when Megan and one of the women began having intimate relations right next to him in the SUV, right? He alleges that this created a hostile work environment after he complained, and his hours were cut, and then he was eventually blackballed and fired. So Garcia is gay and says that he believes the behavior was intentionally directed at him due to his sexuality, right? He claims that the next day following the incident, Megan went up to him and was like, "Were you in the car last night?" And he says, "I was." And she was like, "Forget anything you saw. Don't tell anyone," right? And these are the things that he's claiming. There also was a wage and harassment in California. The suit is now in federal court, right? The wage claim was dismissed, but Garcia's discrimination and retaliation claims are strong enough for the case to proceed, right? Megan's legal team have called Garcia a con artist, and they tried to get the case tossed out, as I mentioned, but the judge wasn't convinced. So they will be refiling a revised complaint. Megan and Roc Nation have yet to issue a statement. So, Nick, because the streets are asking, do you think that this is a false flag, or do you think that it is something that in general the public's not talking that much about because, one, it is a gay man making these accusations against a woman, and 2, because Megan is sort of protected in a way because she suffered an incident with Tory Lanez a few years back?
Well, maybe, and the third thing could be maybe most people just don't care. or consumed with other things.
I'm just
And I'm
asking
not.
because, and I understand you're saying, I'm just inserting this in so you can
No,
continue
I
this
guess.
with your answer. But we just came off of the Puffy trial, which was, some sexuality involved claims were under the guise of work and things of that nature. So I'm saying that in this environment, right, should the
Right.
idea of both be treated the same, even though this obviously wasn't her man or anything like that? And I'm not saying it should, I'm just asking a
Well,
question.
I think it should be discussed, but I think there could be some validity to his claim because I've always said that Megan, even with Tory Lanez trial, was suspect. Some things that she was saying was suspect, and it raised an eyebrow on me. And I know a few other people that we had this kind of conversation about, and it raised an eyebrow with them. So I think there could be some validity to this man's, claim of harassment. Now, to what degree, obviously we don't know. But I don't think that, I don't think there's a possibility he's 100% lying. Now, there may be some parts where he is lying or embellishing some incidents that transpired as it concerns him. But I don't think we could completely just throw it out, especially based upon Megan Thee Stallion's track record. And like I said, there's been some suspect testimony or conversations from the previous incident that she was involved in. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, a lot of these celebrities, unfortunately, they abuse their power, as we saw with the Puffy trial. They get so much power, they get so much fame, they feel like they're untouchable. And it's a shame because they're still human beings at the end of the day. They just happen to be talented or gifted with something that we all appreciate. So again, it's going to be very interesting moving forward to see how, now that we're at the federal level, to see how this trial goes. And hey, if it gets proven that this man is lying, then I'm sure there's going to be some countersuing going on. If it's proven that there's some validity to this man's claim, then hopefully he gets the justice that he deserves. So, for me, I just kind of sit back and just watch. I'm looking at the evidence. I don't care about who's celebrity, if it's Megan Thee Stallion or whoever. If you did wrong, you did wrong. If you didn't do wrong, then you should be vindicated.
So let me ask this, because especially if you consider the time period where they are alleging this happened, part of Megan's image is a party girl. Remember driving the boat and, we twerk at any given moment. And, it's always a party. We're outside, friend. All of the things that come with her image. So is it expected, right, when you go to work for certain types of individuals, right, that some of that will be the environment that you will find yourself into? Because let's face it, if you're an accountant working in a corporate space, then it's not expected for twerking and alcohol all night. But if you're dealing with a rapper who some of the biggest hits are about these type of elements, and the environment might get a little excitable, that's part of the attraction for this type of job. This gentleman had a regular job at first and ended up quitting his job to go work for Megan and travel with her. And I'm sure part of the excitement is, listen, you're in Ibiza, Spain, you're in Europe. I'm not saying that people should be abused, but I am asking what is realistic when you are dealing with certain types of entertainment.
Well, it doesn't. I don't think it matters, because I think if you're there for a job and you're there to work and to conduct a service, then you're there to conduct that particular service, whether it's photography, videography, whether it's makeup artist or whatever, booking agent, travel agent, whatever it is, that's what you're there for and therefore only. And when that crosses the line or the lines get blurred, then there lies the problem. And I think that lies on the person that does the hiring, not the hiree. I think,
because you're saying, I understand what you're saying. You're there to do a job, but if his job is to document, and again, it's Megan Thee Stallion, you guys are coming in from a club.
It don't matter if it was Hugh Hefner. You don't, just because, okay, if I get hired on as a photographer or a videographer, right, and I'm there to film Hugh Hefner, he's got 2 or 3 butt naked girls. That don't mean I get to go and touch them.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
I'm there to photograph
right,
or
but
video.
the individual wasn't touched. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That doesn't give me. But what I'm saying is, you talk about the environment or the type of person that I'm dealing with who has a track record of doing, lavish things. Then that doesn't give me the right just because to indulge what they're doing. I'm there to do a job. And if I'm there to do a job, then I should be allowed to do my job without any type of, interference, as it were, when it comes to, crossing the line. And so, like I said earlier, if there's some validity to this man's story and hopefully the courts will bring that out. If he is indeed lying, like Megan Thee Stallion and company have claimed, then I hope she gets vindicated. But that story remains to be seen, and I'd rather look at the evidence than to speculate and to, try to, make excuses about, the types of environment. Like, that doesn't matter. What happened, what didn't happen, that's what we need to find out. And hopefully, again,
I think the environment very much, I mean, I agree with you on that point, but I think the environment very much matters. You're not going to be documenting an accountant's day and have the same type of things going up.
No,
technically, do you go to a job?
To be violated.
I mean, and I agree with that, but what I'm saying is, like, if you are offended by the images that you were seeing in the course of doing your job, but you know that this is the type of environments that this individual is asking you to document, that's the only question I'm asking. But Pretty Brown Mimi in the chat has a question for you. She said that she's not familiar with Megan's track record and asked if you can elaborate on what you mean by that.
Go back and read the testimony of the Tory Lanez trial, and go back and look at the evidence of the Tory Lanez trial. You'll see some questionable things that she mentioned on the stand and what was actually found out after the fact. So I would implore you to go back and look at the court documents. They're public records, so you can Google them and go from there. Because we'll take this whole show, and I know that's not what you have me on here for. So I would invite her to go back and look at the court documents and do the research for herself.
Wait a minute, Nick. You got some smoke for Megan? A little bit?
No, I ain't no smoke. It's
okay.
I got truth. I got truth.
Well,
I'll call strikes down the middle.
Okay, so what you're saying is you feel as though there are some things that have you questioning what? Her character?
What really transpired that night.
Okay.
What really transpired that night.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, so that's what you were alluding to as far... No, I'm not saying things. So that's what you're alluding to when you say absolutely. That...
Yeah, when you go back and look at the court reports, and you go back and read it, and you go back and look at what was said, what wasn't said, and you can imagine, like, as far as, directions and how things were, aimed and not aimed, and it's just a lot of different things. So when you go back and read and get over the emotionalism of it and the celebrity of it, and just look at the case for what it is, you may have a head scratch or two.
All right. Well, in the meantime, speaking of, Nicki Minaj jumped on Instagram and had some commentary to add to the mix about all of this happening with Megan. She said, what was the name of that law again? Karma's law? Touch not my anointed law. Vengeance is the Lord's law. We give God the glory, and he's only just begun. Have a blessed day, if you can. LOL. The blog's posting lies. Thank you. More money for me. We're working. Trust. So Nicki still got smoke for Megan. It's still Bigfoot all day, I guess. And, do you have any thoughts on that? Because Nicki wasn't done there.
You know what? All I can say is, oh, man, hate. She sounds like she's a member of the Haters Ball. Somebody looks like they're bored and don't have anything else better to do, and they're mad that somebody else is getting shine, not them. That's what that sounds like. Because, and I'm not taking anything away from Nicki's career. Nicki has made a significant impact into hip-hop, no question. But she chose to go have a family. She chose to go be with a convicted pedophile. And she chose to stay out the limelight for a while. So why are you mad that some other woman or other women are getting their shine and doing what they're doing? I don't understand it. Like, what's the whole point of you ranting and raving and crying like a spoiled brat that somebody stole their bike? It doesn't make sense to me. So I think Nicki's just on the hate. She's on the hate train right now. That's all it is. She's looking for attention.
All right. Well, when we come forward, we're going to talk about what Nicki had to say about Jay-Z. Plus, we'll get into Dr. Blank's run for office. We're going to get into all of those details on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you a ghostwriter, party in Megan jaw. Shot stone, but I still ain't let Megan soar. Babs, she like 6 foot. I call her Bigfoot. The big fell off. I said, get up on your good foot. Still ain't top red booby. Tryna steal a source. I said, get up on my cookbook. But really, I'm a city pie. P-R-T-T-Y, but I'm P-E-T-T-Y. Why did you lie about your lipo? And your best friend, man, is crazy. You the type, though. You was lying to the queen and you been lying to the king. Yeah, the 30-year-old tea so stale.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom are slamming an armed immigration raid at MacArthur Park. Agents showed up with military vehicles near a kids' camp. Bass called it outrageous and fear-driven.
I could see a helicopter in the air. I think it was a Black Hawk helicopter. And I saw military tanks. It was the Custom and Border Patrol, and it might have been military on the periphery.
Feds aren't saying why they were there or if anyone was detained. Sean Diddy Combs plus his lawyers and prosecutors are now agreeing to the original October 3rd sentencing date. Prosecutors are said to be seeking a 5-year prison term for Diddy, but that did not come up in Tuesday's hearing. And Memphis and Shelby County have both ended programs supporting minority and women-owned businesses due to a new Tennessee law banning DEI initiatives. Black business leaders worry this will hurt progress, but many plan to keep supporting each other. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Anaheim crash on the 57 northbound at the 91. A motorcycle involved in this wreck. They're clearing it out of the carpool lane. Delays out of Orange, leaving Chapman Avenue. Anaheim Hills, 91 eastbound, coming up on the 241. A wreck in the left lane sends you back all the way from the 57 freeway. San Bernardino, 210 westbound before Del Rosa. A crash out of lanes in the center divider and off to the right shoulder, slowing you down from Highland Avenue. The Cajon Pass loading up on the 15 northbound from Summit Avenue all the way to the 138.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the tether? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The name Pettis Norman might not be familiar to you, but he was a pioneer in the National Football League on and off the field. Norman was the first African-American tight end to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Norman passed away Tuesday morning. He was 86. Norman played 9 seasons with the Cowboys after he was drafted in 1962 out of Johnson C. Smith University and HBCU in Charlotte, North Carolina. Pettis played 3 seasons with the San Diego Chargers before retiring in 1973. When Norman was with the Cowboys, he convinced legendary coach Tom Landry to end his segregation policy. Landry did not allow black and white players to share hotel rooms on the road. After retiring, Norman became a prominent civil rights advocate in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. One of Norman's legacies is the Dallas Together Forum, an initiative he created to support businesses owned by women and minorities. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey man, hey, what's up, bro? What's that station you listening to? Oh man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio, KBLA 1580 AM. Check it out. 1580 KBLA AM. 1580 Talk Radio. Progressive. KBLA.
KBLA Talk 1580. We're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Where you get some information, get a true education to know. Ooh, yeah. 1580.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Spaces limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Like I press fast forward, motherfucker.
Disclaimer, plenty paper, play with somebody safer. Black mask on, dark fader. Send up money now, kill them later. Just know they can't outpace her. New York nigga, LA Laker. That's what you call a game changer. She don't like me, can you blame her? Can you blame her? I am the maker. Word to the baby in the major. Swerve on these, no indicator. Cake for days, I don't need a baker. One Barbiana, Vogue Italiana. The best dress, yes, shut down Megaliana. They won't go far, but hoes ain't got fathers. Don't call me mother, you hoes ain't my daughters. Every season in a wind tour, 10-4. Gag City for the wind tour. We outside smoking indoor. Bitches, you deaf? I'm signing at the in-store.
Welcome back in. We're locked in with your digital cousin Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. And we are talking about that young lady right there, Nicki Minaj. She's got punchlines and bars on Instagram and X, Twitter, for both Megan and Jay-Z. So let's get into what she had to say about Jay-Z. And I'm joined by Nick Hamilton of NiteCast Media in the building. So Nicki Minaj, like I said, she's crashing out, right? So she redirected some shade at Jay-Z, reposting this paternity lawsuit that this young man is trying to establish against Jay-Z and has been for quite some time, right? And she also is claiming that Jay-Z owes her $100 to $200 million. She said, we calculated about $100 to $200 million so far. Jay-Z called me to settle this karmic debt. You still in my top 5 though. She said, you will answer to, but she also said to anybody that calls this man Hove, you will answer to God for the blasphemy. She
God.
also said that she will use the 100 to 200 million of the debt, the imaginary debt maybe, I don't know, to fund Student of the Game, her charity for the Barbs. And she said she's going to send a couple of Barbs to college when Jay-Z gives her the money. She also said, because let me continue on, she brought up the fact that there is also a court case happening regarding Desiree Perez, who is the CEO of Roc Nation, and her daughter. And her daughter is making some accusations against her mother. So Nicki is saying that all of these people are crooked and they know they got her money. And what's up? Pay me. So, Nick Hamilton, what are your thoughts on Nicki Minaj and her most recent Twitter and Instagram, X tirade?
Somebody take her phone. First of all, produce the receipts. If somebody owes you 100, 200 million, produce the receipts or go to court and have a tall glass and shut the hell up. Because the thing about it is this, you just look like you're whining and ranting about something that nobody knows anything about. Because you didn't produce anything, you didn't say anything with this alleged 100 to 200 million dollars that Hove, yes, I'm gonna call him Hove, that allegedly owes you. And so my thing is, go do something with your life. Either get back in the studio, rap, because she said some other stuff too about Hove's political affiliations and all this other stuff. And I'm like, it's funny how you have all this political smoke for Hove, but you ain't got no political smoke for Lil Wayne.
I mean,
anyway.
Well, Andy is looking confused. Care to elaborate on why she would have smoke for Lil Wayne?
I'm just saying, why? I mean, if you have smoke for Hove's political affiliation that you didn't allegedly agree with, then how could you not have smoke for Lil Wayne's political affiliation?
So let me tell you what. Go ahead.
You can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is this: I think she's just ranting. I think she's just throwing stuff up against the wall, hoping it sticks. And again, if somebody owes you 100 to 200 million dollars, then you would at least elaborate on what that money is for. And it doesn't sound like she elaborated on it. So either she's going to go to court and sue that person for 100 to 200 million dollars, or again, shut up and move on with your life. Like, that's the problem. I'm so sick and tired of these artists that come back 20 years later talking about you owe me this and you owe me that, but they haven't filed any type of paperwork in the court of law to substantiate what they're alleging this person or these people have taken from them. It's ridiculous, and I'm really getting tired of it. Like, it's a broken record.
So this is what Nicki had to say on Instagram, to your point, the extended thing. So let me get this straight. Y'all so-called black savior Jay-Z has a Hispanic CEO who was pardoned by President Trump. Interesting. So does that mean Desiree isn't a Democrat? Black people, I thought y'all hate all Trump supporters. Wait, did Jay-Z ever campaign for Kamala? He's benefited so much from the party. When President Obama gave his speech about brothers, why didn't Jigga Man come out and strongly campaign for the Democratic Party at that time? Could it be that y'all have been hoodwinked? Laughing out loud, ooh-wee. That was so kind of President Trump, and that was so kind of President Obama to passionately go out and campaign. But what did Mr. Jigga Man do to help y'all win the election? He's above speaking out to help his party. Or was it not his party? Is it just about who can benefit him and Desiree at the time? Oh, black people, it looks like the Jigga Man and Desiree played y'all once again. The jig is up. So.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that, but not talk about Lil Wayne's public.
I mean, I think,
and
that's fair.
Boy.
No, that's fair.
That's okay. That's okay
because Wayne was just at UFC with Trump not too long ago, and Dana White and all of them. I'm just saying though that's
he's publicly said it, and again, I don't have a problem one way or the other, right? People have a right in this country to vote or support who you want to support, right? But my thing is, you can't call out somebody on their political affiliation and not call out your boy about their political affiliation and you just be quiet about that. You can't have it both ways. And she sounds like the biggest hypocrite this side of the Mississippi. So that's all I'm saying. Like you either you're gonna call everybody out that you're saying is against what your political beliefs are, or you don't call anybody out. Pretty much how it goes.
In defense of Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne is probably family to her, right? So who knows? Maybe she did push back behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna embarrass you in public. You feel me? She probably said something to Lil Wayne like, "For real, you gonna?"
But you're still.
I don't think.
But Andy,
you're
still a hypocrite, though, bro. Yeah, you're still a hypocrite, bro.
Understood.
Like, you're still a hypocrite because you did this publicly. So why wouldn't you do the other part? That's all I'm saying. Again, I have no dog in the fight. I don't care who you right, left, or in between. Like, I don't care what side you stand on. But I'm saying if you're going to voice that type of vigor, as far vigorous arguments against that particular political stance, then you got to look in your own backyard and look at the person that you claim is family doing the same thing that you're claiming somebody else is doing. That's all I'm saying. And the fact that you didn't do that is very hypocritical in nature. And if you're going to speak out against it at all of it, or don't speak out on none of it. Don't have one foot in, one foot out. It's better to be hot or cold than lukewarm.
Very fair. When we come forward, we're going to get into the latest reality star that is attempting to launch a political career. We'll get into all of that and more on the other side.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
LA County's Justice Care and Opportunities Department, also known as JCOD, is changing the justice system for Angelenos. If you or someone you love has recently been arrested, come home from jail or prison, or has been justice involved, JCOD can help. We offer access to housing, employment, court reminders, clothing, education, and more. At JCOD, we believe your life should not be defined by your worst moment, and everyone deserves a second chance. JCOD's Justice Connect Support Center is open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Call us at 833-LAC-JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit us at jcod.lacounty.gov. You can also find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube at LAC JCOD. All services are free and confidential. JCOD serves the justice-impacted population all across LA County. Your future isn't behind you. It's waiting. Reach out by calling 833-LAC-JCOD. That's 833-522-5263, or visit jcod.lacounty.gov.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need.
Forgiving for Living Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We're back, and we're still riding with Nick Hamilton and myself here on KBLA Talk 1580. So next up, we have a reality TV show president. We've seen other reality stars step into politics. We've seen Hollywood actors step into politics. Probably started technically here in California. Ronald Reagan was our governor. So was Arnold Schwarzenegger. We know Jesse the Body Ventura was he governor of?
Governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, governor of Minnesota, right? And so the cycle continues. Well, Dr. Heavenly, known for Married to Medicine and Vicious Clapbacks, she is stepping into politics. She has officially announced her candidacy for Georgia's House District 93. Her platform includes expanding healthcare access. She is a dentist. Supporting Black entrepreneurship, education reform, and small business advocacy. She released a statement, and she also dropped a video exclusively with people. I'm not a career politician. I'm a mom, a doctor, and a business owner, and I'm not afraid to stand up for what I believe in. But let's talk. Is reality TV fame an asset or a liability when running for office? We have seen her in some, nasty little squabbles on reality TV. Do we want that in our representatives? I am not saying either way. And do voters take these type of campaigns seriously, or is it just a new version of clout chasing? Nick Hamilton, what do you think?
I mean, it's definitely clout chasing, but I think, if she feels like she can do a better job than what she's seeing currently, and she can do the job, and people feel like they believe in her enough to do the job, hey, good luck.
I mean, there it is right there. We have Eric from Carson on the line. He wants to weigh in on the topic. Eric, what's good with you this evening?
Hey, what's up, Jill and DH?
No, not DH. That's Nick Hamilton. So wrong letter. NH.
NH. I'm in NH.
Oh, man. I saw that, Andy. All right. Anyway, continue, Eric. I know. I got it.
Anyway. There's been actors in politics, for years. They've been supporting actors like George Clooney and James Wood, Oprah, Stacey Dash. And then, as you just mentioned, there's been actors in politics directly, Reagan and Schwarzenegger and Trump. But I did my research, and it said that the best backgrounds for politics is law, political science, business, public service, communications, and economics. So my question to you, Jill, and or NH, would be, do you think that reality stars and actors have no place running for public office if they lack these necessary skill sets?
I mean, here's one. I will say everybody should be qualified to run, right? Now, what those qualifications are probably vary per candidate. We know that at various points in times, lack of certain things, education, the right school, a degree, have kept us out of doors that we probably should have been into and who have made a change, right? There are plenty of politicians in history who have come up through the city ranks and et cetera that did not necessarily have a law background or a political background. Having said that, I like a little bit of politics up in my candidate mix. Not saying they necessarily should be career politicians. I understand the pushback with that. But my thing is, are you serious? And do people, and I understand where we are, and I really understand who's in office, but setting the stage for the norm, how do you feel about seeing somebody kirk out on reality TV then going to, push for change? Not saying that people can't be three-dimensional, but just as far as a respect factor, as far as the dignity that we want from our public officials, right? It's a fine line. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, and I'm not saying that they can't contribute, but I want them to be serious about it. And I also would want them to leave reality TV behind while they are attempting to and serving in office, should it get that far. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Well, to answer Aaron's, I'm sorry, you said Aaron or Eric?
Eric. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's no different than what we're experiencing right now, right? We're witnessing a crash out damn near every other day, right, with somebody who's already in office that was a reality star. So I think most people, I don't think they do the research enough to look at these people. I think they find out what they like on television or what they like part of their persona, and they roll with it. No matter what side of the coin they're on, I think they ride with it, and that's how they get into these public offices, and that's how they get elected into these public offices, based upon, good speech, decent speeches and persona. So, again, I think I personally wouldn't want a reality show, somebody who isn't familiar with government and familiar with the territory as far as what's going to be a better opportunity for the people. But that's not the world that we live in, unfortunately, today. So,
all right. Well, Eric, I appreciate your time and your call. Thank you as always. Nick Hamilton of NiteCast Media, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at the NH Experience. You can find me on X at Nick Hamilton 213, and you can find me on YouTube.
Thank you so much.
YouTube.com/ NiteCast Media TV.
Thank you so much, Nick. As always appreciate your time. We will
appreciate you as well. Thank you so much, and thank you for correcting the last caller, because I was gonna say something, but I forgot we on FCC Airwaves.
Yeah. I know that you get your serious time in, and you a little more free over there. But yeah,
I'm gonna clap. You know me.
We roll a little more straight-laced over here, a little quieter.
I got you.
Appreciate you as always, Nick. We will talk to you next time. Thanks for clapping in. So, listen. Oh, Pretty Brown Mimi has this to add about Dr. Heavenly. She is an intelligent, educated dentist. She at least has intelligence on her side. Perhaps the Georgia voters will see that. Forrest Harrison says, Black people voted for Clinton because he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall show, but it worked out for us. I mean, both are valid points. Listen, Dr. Heavenly is intelligent. There is a certain amount of discipline, obviously, that you have to show to become a dentist. She's had a successful practice for years. However, and that doesn't mean that she cannot lead and effectively, promote change and fight for it and all of these things. But despite what we have in office, there still should be some dignity behind our political leaders to a certain degree, right? We want them a little loose, but how loose is loose? I don't know. I'm not to say I'm not a Georgia voter, obviously, and it is not that I don't enjoy Dr. Heavenly or her clapbacks. I am just asking a really valid question. Because we talk about people should have known better voting for Donald Trump, but he was a really good businessman. So I don't know. And he wasn't a good businessman. I recognize that. Andy?
I just want to say this, when it comes to politics, I'm obviously, frustrated with the issue that we see on a regular basis. And I just want to encourage folks that you guys are leaders too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we are like just sitting back and just watching things unfold, and we're upset about everything. You don't need to be an elected official to make things pop.
Facts.
So I just want to encourage folks to just get a little bit more involved civically, whether it's locally, your neighborhood, just do something. Let's not just sit here and just watch the issue unfold right before our eyes.
Great message, Andy. We appreciate that. Listen, one more story before we get out of here quickly. Jesse and Delilah, The Combs twins, they are officially stepping into entrepreneurship. I mentioned a few weeks back that they were foregoing college to launch their brand. Well, they've announced their fashion brand, 1221. That is their birthday. And they were inspired by numerology, and the brand will focus on everyday pieces that look good, feel good, and mean something. I don't know what the something is, but mean something. We certainly wish them well. Interesting timing. We know what we're just coming off of. So shout out to them. Good luck. We love Black Girl Magic and entrepreneurs. And if it's fly, we'll support it. Listen, that's my time. Thank you guys for tapping in. Make sure you are locked in each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. to get your entertainment news update with your favorite digital cousin. Facts, culture, and context. That's what we bring to you. Coming up next is the voice of reason, Zoe Williams. I will talk with you guys tomorrow.
On the solo whistle, Eric B, make him clap to this. 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 I don't bug out of chill or be acting ill. No tricks in 86, it's time to build. Eric be easy on the cut, no mistakes allowed. Cause to me, MC means move the crowd. I made it easy to dance to this. But can you detect what's coming next from the flex of the wrist? Saying D, then I proceed.